A warm welcome everyone, my name is Nick, thank you for joining me on another 8-bit adventure. We're on the Atari 2600 and we're going to be looking at Pole Position, yes, a classic game published by Atari in 1983 and based on the arcade cabinet from a year before in 1982, which is like by Atari and Namco really. So the idea of this game, you must first qualify for a race. You've got 2 gears, low and high. Hugely popular this one. It's a Formula 1 game. As soon as we qualified, if we do, we'll then take part in a race. Well, it's a sort of a race, but you have to complete the lap in the time given. So it's like checkpoints and time. So here we go in low gear. Then we'll go up to high gear. Now, if we crash into any other vehicle, we risk exploding. If we go off the track too long, then I think it might explode as well. Moves very fast. I always love engine sounds on the Atari 2600. And it is said this is the first game based on a real life track. I don't know how accurate it is to that track, but it is a track in Japan, Fuji. Hooray! Right, let's get past this mob. All cars we go past are yellow. They're a bit of a blur. Graphics are okay for the time. It's 8-bit glory. And as a kid, I think I would have liked this one. Check out the engine noises if we drive past them. Wind rushing by, that's good. Good, that gives it an extra bit of realism, if we can call it that. So a huge game back in the time. This is one of the all-time classics, and we've qualified. Good. Now take a look at what's in the middle there. I think that says T for our time left. We must do a lap in 75 seconds. Then we do another lap in shorter amount of seconds, I think. Right, in high gear. It's always best to get into the high gear as quickly as you can and stay there. And it's just judging when best to get past these cars. Brake shouldn't really be an option unless you get into big trouble. There's only one race circuit on this, so you'll always be in Fuji. Did you have this one back in the day in 1983? Let me know. I have reviewed it, I think, on the ZX Spectrum, unless my memory is fading me, but quite a lot of clones out there. Continental Circus to name but one. Some people might say Continental Circus isn't a clone, but there's all similar sort of things, isn't it? Right up to a homebrew on the ZX Spectrum, which is called 4K Race and 4K Race Refueled. So they're all based roughly on this game, I would say. So it's good to see the original. I do like this. I didn't play Pole Position in the arcades. If you did, let me know. Checkered Flag is another game on the ZX Spectrum, but it's not quite as good as this one. So it's reverse view, chase view. We don't see the pilot in this car, or driver. Notice how the car does deviate from left to right as we turn left and right. So it does change graphics. And the turns and the speed is good. I would say the frame rate is acceptable. And I do like that. Oh dear, we crashed. I do like that speedo. It goes low to high in that red bar. That's quite cool. They've even tried to put some clouds in, which is good to see. Yeah, the horizon goes from left to right as well. Good stuff, so lots to like about this game and not much to hate, I don't think. Difficulty level is just about right. Car comes, well, that single car each time. You don't get packed with traffic or stuck behind things. 6 seconds left, it could be Doomsville here. 4, 3, 2. Yes, we're out of time. So we'll have a few goes at this one, but that's it. You've seen all the gameplay there is to be had there. So it's not going to be a super long review because we've essentially seen it all, but it's quite an addictive game. It's quite a fun game. I'm sure you get a lot of nostalgia for this if you played it as a kid, because you would have been playing it for a long time. Pole Position, such a classic name. Atari. Excellent stuff. Right, I would like a choice. This is really nitpicky. There's no way they could have done it, but I would like a choice of different cars. This one is red, so I presume we're in a Ferrari. I can't think of any other cars that are red round about that time, although there might very well have been some. Is this quite accurate? Because in modern day games, the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, all these tracks are recreated and they look identical. Is this like Fuji? I mean, not the undulation, of course, it couldn't do that. But the layout, the straights and the bends, is it representative of Fuji or is it nothing like it? Admittedly, since 1983 the track might have changed quite a bit. There's no, it's all a bit grey, isn't it, either side, so there's no track obstacles or anything like that. I wouldn't expect it to be because the computer is doing a lot. The Atari 2600 is a console from 1977. My first computer was a ZX Spectrum 48K from 1982, so this predates, well, the hardware at least predates that by 5 years, although this is a game in the early 80s. So it would have been up against, in the UK at least, would have been up against the Spectrum in Europe and the Commodore 64. Not sure about the US, was the NES on the market at the time. Top speed is 200 miles an hour. Right, so we qualified again, as you might have noticed. Away we go. Keep your foot on the accelerator. Nice road holding here. The car doesn't flip or spin. What is your favourite chase view racer? We'll keep it retro. What do you think? Let's keep it to 8-bit actually. What's your favourite 8-bit racer? I'm quite liking this, but I think my favourite have to be, although it is a modern homebrew, that one I always mentioned there, 4K Race Refuel. That's absolutely genius. But in terms of, that was about, I think that was about 2005, that one, but you know, in terms of retro history, you can't go far wrong with this. 1983, moves fast. A kid would have brought a lot to the party of their own imagination, and you would have thought you were in a Formula 1 race. I don't know who all these yellow cars are, but we can make it up that it's Alain Prost, Nelson Piquet, and all that lot. Boom, I quickly ran out of Formula 1 drivers. Let's say Emerson Fittipaldi. Yay. Past this car. Can we get to there? So we've got 53 seconds left. Notice how I'm not crashing into anyone this time. I've got the skills. Super skills. So the cars are coming at us, the traffic, at equal points, aren't they, really? It's like a metronome. 1, 2, there we go. 1, 2, next car up. Yes. 1, 2, yeah. So they are equidistant going around this track. There's no way of avoiding them. If you slow down, I think some might catch you up, but the merest touch with any of the cars and you will explode. Oops, that's tricky. Yes. So we use all the race circuit there. Rumble strip all the way round. Those mountains have got no snow on. I think Fuji might have snow. If you're into the Atari 2600, do look at my other reviews. We've only recently started doing these, but we've already hit a few classics. Berserk, Frogger, Enduro, Donkey Kong, just to name a few. Good. Pole Position. There's a cartoon, wasn't it, called Pole Position, which I started singing. Diddy, Pole Position. Don't know if that was a USA thing or just Europe. Let me know about that. I can't remember what happened at all. It was on when I used to get home from school anyway. Feel the G's. So the controls are really just it accelerates automatically. So it's just decelerate left and right. That's pretty much it. Oh, and your gears, I suppose. You can select low or high, so if we select low now, which I won't do, the car will slow down quite dramatically. Oh, what? We must have hit that by the nearest of pixels. See the score ticking up at the front there? Oh, so you could... Oh dear, it's all going a bit wrong now. So you could compare your high score to your friends if you wrote that down on a bit of paper, but it would take a lot of trust unless the friends actually saw it at the same time. Oh no, I was going so well there. I've lost too much time on this. I think it's going to be game over quite soon. Get out of the way! Oh no, I saw that coming. The computer AI never takes avoiding action. They go round like robots. So it's up to you to avoid everything, and if you don't, well, you're dead essentially. Or at least out for one race. But it's always Fuji. Did this have a sequel? I don't think it did, to be honest. Right, we're out of time. Bit of inertia, we didn't make it. Good music there, good music. I think we've pretty much seen all the gameplay we've seen there, haven't we? So you've got the qualifying, and then the race, and then you've got less and less time to go through each checkpoint or each lap. So I hope you liked having a look at that one. I really enjoyed it. That was Pole Position on the Atari 2600 from 1983, based on the arcade cabinet by Atari and Namco the year before in 1982. Got any thoughts about this one? Any memories, any comments, or anything retro about the Atari 2600 or any system that we cover? Then by all means put your thoughts below. It adds a bit of activity to the channel, and it's all about forum and sharing memories, really. A huge thank you to everyone that's subscribed so far. If you haven't already, please consider doing so, because that's a huge help in the channel's growth, its long-term survival. If you want to help a bit more, there's patreon.com/njenkin. Every bit really does help the channel continue. Until next time, take great care of yourself and a very fond goodbye.
Goodbye.